Question will be our final question, and we'll start again with Dan. This is kind of a broad question from the audience again. Could you please explain how your community experience, and let's include life experience, has prepared you for office?
Sure. I've been a resident in the community for 35 years and being very active in it for the last 25 years. Overcoming some physical problems and with having a hip replaced. I didn't think I'd be as active as I could be, but I started out in the early 80s working with the Active 2030 Club and helped charter that, which led to basically representing the 2030 Club on Cordova Community Council, which I belonged to that eventually and became president of that in the middle 80s. And then basically I ran for Park District in 88 and lost to Kate Nickerson, believe it or not, who's retiring this year. In the 90s, kids were in school, and I was president of the Rotary Club in 1996. And basically, in the early 2000s, I was on the County Planning Commission for the County of Sacramento, the Corpac we called it. And when I didn't run for City Council, I figured there's 21 people running, and hopefully the top 5 would be the ones that I hopefully get in there. They were. I did run for Park District again in 2002. It was not selected. But we did become a city that year, and we got 5 city council members that carried us on. Unfortunately, when Dave Roberts passed away, well, first of all, in 2004, I applied for and was selected as a vice chair of the first City of Rancho Cordova Planning Commission. I resigned from the court back to the County Planning Commission. And from then, before I really became involved in the city, I helped charter the Internet Club at Cordova High School, which is thriving very much now. It's a Rotary-based club there. So I've had leadership in the community. I've had experience helping kids. We had 2 kids 4 years apart. They were at the high school. We were around the high school for 8 years. So I've had experience in this community in leadership levels and various levels. So I've appreciated it. It's helped quite a bit, and I've accumulated a lot of friends that way.
Well, let's see, the time that I spent here a little longer than Dan, but he's definitely got me on all the things he's done, and I'm sure Linda's going to throw out a whole bunch too, so they're going to have a lot more. Seeing, like I said, what I've been through growing up and seeing what I see now, experiences, it's time to make that change. That's why I'm on the board for Little League. We've already seen one organization go down, and that was Mills, which was our first league that started. I don't want to see another one go down, as I said before. And also the committee for Boy Scouts. Got to start somewhere. We've got to start with the kids. If we don't get the kids, we're not going to have much of a community down the road.
What Paul said about having been in Rancho Cordova for a long time is really important. There's that kind of, I can look at and see some long-time residents, that kind of experience is huge. And for a long time, the average length of time that people lived in Rancho Cordova was 38 years. When I first got elected to the Park District, within 2 weeks, we had a seminar from the Parks attorney at that point in time about learning the difference between policy issues and everyday details. That is a critical thing that people need to learn in public office, to learn what is good policy and how to set it. The other thing you have to learn is fiduciary responsibility. Got elected 6 months after Prop 13 passed. And you talk about tough fiduciary times, good grief. I chaired I was on Corpac for 5 years and chaired it for 3. Chaired the Sacramento County Subdivision Review Committee for 18 years, where we approved all the parcel maps in this county and saw all the subdivisions as they went through the planning commissions and the board of supervisors. Sat on the Sac County Fire District Board for 2 years, replacing a gentleman who represented us who moved. Have done everything in this community from, I'm an urban planner, and so learning my craft, learning what it takes to get things done, learning what the implications of land use are. And I've done everything in this community from saving the trees on Coloma Road from the County Transportation Department to moving Mill Station over to the Makerfield Mill Station. My kids went through Gardens and Mills and Cordova High and played soft baseball for Mills Little League. You are 100% correct. That's why we're putting time and talent into Rancho Cordova, to keep it strong.
I've lived in Rancho Cordova for 9 years. I've been able to move through all different parts of the city. When I first moved to Rancho, I lived on Data Drive. Then I was fortunate enough to buy my first home right near Sun River, right off the river access. And then now I live in Stone Creek with my wife and my boy. And for me, Rancho Cordova has definitely been the place that I want to live. I've lived here for 9 years. I've worked here at VSP, one of the great companies in Rancho Cordova, for 13 years. I definitely know what it takes to be able to make a good city. And part of that is making sure that we get out there and we get active. My business career has taught me, I started out at VSP as a temp, keying in information from voicemail. I rose from that to being a project manager. As I grew throughout the company, I learned of ways to make sure that I'm able to keep a budget, to be able to get things done, negotiations, working with people, the art of give and take, doing what it takes to be able to get things done appropriately. I've been very active in my church for my whole life, a long, long time. And there I've served as helping out with the finances, teaching Sunday school, working with the Boy Scouts, doing what it takes to be able to help out there. I also, for several years, taught 15 to 20 teenagers public speaking skills. So if anybody doubts whether or not I can stand up in a fight or take a tough environment, I would challenge all of you to try to teach public speaking skills to a group of teenagers. All of these experiences, my main life experiences, have taught me what it takes to be a good city councilman. Listening, learning, working with others, being willing to let my ideas go, and standing up for those things that I know are right. And that's what I can bring to a city council.
That will conclude our question and answer period. Thank you so much, candidates, for taking part in this forum. We'll now give you a chance to make your fun pitch to the voters. You'll have 2 minutes to do so. We'll start with Paul. Following those remarks, we'll have a short break before we begin our portion with the members, the candidates for the Park District.
Let me first start off by saying thank you for coming. Especially Giant fans out there, you came right in the middle of the playoffs. I don't know who set the time, but that's okay. I kind of go back to an old thing that I used to remember when I was a kid. Kind of wrote it down. It goes, you guide the future by the past. And long ago, the mold was cast. So maybe that's the way I'm going at this. So if you think that is a good way to do things, how things ran good for our kids and how we are now today, maybe it's because some of those kids grew up. I don't know. But again, thank you all for coming out. I appreciate the time.
Did you want to go around again, or do you want to go back up? Well, you've heard a lot of very interesting information tonight. Again, just want to reiterate and kind of revisit the fact that we incorporated this town to change. There was no question that counties in California are not funded to provide urban services. And we've been able to do that in Rancho Cordova by hiring a very smart, very lean staff. We still don't have over about 85 people that work for the city. We have a balanced budget for the 3rd or 4th year of a tough economy. We have not decreased any of our services, even though we have cut some of our spending. We have a police department that we're extremely proud of. We have the only motor officers in the unincorporated county because the sheriff had to terminate all of theirs. We have worked on code enforcement. We've worked on law enforcement. We have worked on strong neighborhoods. David Sander walked in. David invented the strong neighborhoods concept. And in order to strengthen the neighborhoods behind Folsom Boulevard, we have to clean up the boulevard. It's been a collection of t-shirt shops and small shops. The most egregious one is a restaurant that people cut holes in, and you can drive in and out or until they closed and get your car swapped. How ridiculous. That kind of thing has to stop. But at the same time, we have to jumpstart the economy. We have to have the right size fees, and we have to have the right size zoning in place to help people be successful. We have told everybody from day one, all the property owners, from day one in Rancho Cordova, we want to contribute to your success, because your success will be the success of our city. Vote for me.
This has been a great experience, one of the greatest experiences of my life. I've met people I thought I would never meet, done things I thought I would never do, filled out forms I hope never, ever to see again in my lifetime. And throughout this entire experience, I've learned what makes Rancho Cordova great. And that is the citizens that live here in Rancho Cordova, folks that go about and do their jobs every day. And that's what I hope to bring to the city councils. My experience is just being that type of person, somebody who has a job, has a family, wants to live here, and wants to help everybody and help myself do the best that we can. Rancho Cordova has done a lot of great things in the last 7 years, and I know that we can continue to do great things as we move forward. And the best way for us to continue our growth, the best way for us to be able to change the circumstances and times that we have is by getting a new voice on city council. I know that we cannot dictate growth. We cannot force things to change. As leaders, as a government, our best thing and our greatest tool is to remove obstacles, get out of the way, and let people, let businesses, and let communities do what they do best. As we continue to do that, as we build relationships, as we work together to maximize the great things that are about Rancho Cordova, we can make the improvements that we need to make and continue to have that city go along our path. We can reach a little bit further, grow just a little bit more, become just a little bit stronger. And that's why I'm asking for your vote, to be able to bring a new voice to Rancho Cordova city politics, to be able to really grow and become better as a city.